Elev, bratu, fața la joc, nu la joc. Deci, accelerația egal viteza supra timp. Ai înțeles?
Eu credeam că formula accelerației este piciorul meu pe pedală de la 0 la 100 în 4 secunde.
Nu, aia este formula perfectă să rămâi fără permis că te prinde poliția.
Atunci intră în funcțiune altă lege a fizicii. Legea lui om. Ești om cu mine, sunt om cu tine.
Oh, ce veche e asta. Salut și bine v-am găsit la ultimul episod din Braingineers. Fiind ultima șansă pe care o are bratul să învețe și el ceva nou, e o ediție cu totul și cu totul specială. Mai ales că Braingineerul de astăzi este un nume, cum să vă spun eu, de-a dreptul interstelar.
Interstelar?
Exact.
Iar avem invitat care are asteroid pe numele lui?
La cât a inventat omul ăsta în domeniul fizicii, eu cred că am putea deja să-i dăm o galaxie. Ca să nu mai lungesc suspansul, trebuie să vă spun, Braingineerul de astăzi este Kip Thorne, câștigător în 2017 al Premiului Nobel pentru fizică pentru descoperirea undelor gravitaționale. El este și Braingineerul din spatele filmului Interstellar. Știi tu, filmul ăla în care avem foarte multe găuri de vierme, găuri negre și așa mai departe. Kip Thorne a fost invitat la finala BRD First Tech Challenge din 24 aprilie de la sala polivalentă, unde a vorbit despre descoperirile lui echipelor câștigătoare la concursul de robotică.
Ce putea Costin Giurgea de la Pleș, Coi Buzău să-l întrebe pe Kip Thorne din California?
Păi nu l-am întrebat eu. Am lăsat câțiva puști mai deștepți decât noi doi la un loc să-i pună întrebările. Volkswagen a selectat 3 Braingineers din echipele câștigătoare de anul trecut BRD First Tech Challenge să ia un interviu pe îndelete. Haideți să vedem împreună ce a ieșit, nu înainte să ne luăm la revedere de la voi. Vă pupăm, rămâneți aceiași Braingineer School și în continuare.
Forța lui Arhimede să fie cu voi!
Deci, în crater avem roboțelul. Foarte slab, toți roboții schiară. Se pare că știe foarte bine ce fac. Alianța și aproape până în perete. Exact ce trebuie, perfect. Au lăsat-o. Când am văzut că nu o dată în viață. Așa că hai să auzim gălăgie foarte, 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 foarte. Mai încercăm o dată toată ca 1, 2, 3 și și mai încercăm o dată și mai tare 1, 2, 3 și Partid Alianța Roșii și să aibă alți.
First of all, I know that in Interstellar there is a concept of aliens, or something like an outside civilization with another perception on space and time. Do you think that there are alien civilizations and they may have such a conception?
So there's almost certainly are alien civilizations. When we were very early working on Interstellar, we had a workshop with the best experts about the various pieces of science in the movie, came from around the world to work with us in preparing for the movie. And the director asked everybody among the scientists and engineers, do they think that there are alien civilizations that are smarter than us? And everybody said yes. So I think that's a widely believed, it's not universally believed, and I think that probably is the case. But in Interstellar, the civilization is very strange because the civilization lives in 5 dimensions.
I understand.
Lives in the bulk. And we don't know whether there is a bulk. If there is a bulk, we don't know what's out there. So it's a great unknown. I just don't know whether there are that kind of civilization. But civilizations like us who live in 3 space dimensions, very high probable that there are many of them, very advanced, but very, very far away because the universe is so huge.
Would you ever volunteer for space travel as the heroes in Interstellar did?
At my age, I would, because I've had a very good life for 79 years. And I wouldn't mind if I die in a great adventure at this point. I think if I were your age, I probably would not. I'd like to live a rich life first.
But if you were in the situation from the movie?
If I were in a situation where, in some sense, the fate of the human race depends on it, well, yes, of course, yeah.
Do you think an object like a car or something can enter and escape a black hole, can enter and escape the bulk in our universe, and enter and go back in our universe, like bounce off the bulk?
So what we do understand are black holes in our universe, in the brain, assuming there is no bulk and you can't escape into the bulk. And in that case, we know you fall into a black hole, you can't get out. There's no possibility to get out. If there is a bulk, then it becomes speculation. Can you, as in the movie, can you escape into the bulk with the help of an alien civilization that lives in the bulk? Can you escape into the bulk? We don't know. This is very speculative. And any issue of bouncing off of the bulk, anything that involves the bulk, we know so little about the bulk that it's that I really can't say very much. I can say a little bit because we do think that if there is a bulk, it's governed by Einstein's general relativity laws. But they don't tell us what lives in the bulk. They only tell us what the laws are that control whatever is there, but they don't tell us what's there. And so that's the huge unknown about anything involving the bulk.
Well, that's not necessarily related to Interstellar, but I know that antimatter and producing antimatter is right now at an experimental and fundamental research level on the Earth. Do you believe that in the future we will be able to use it as a source of energy for a car or something like that?
I don't know whether it will be technologically feasible or advantageous. First, you need the energy to make the antimatter.
Yeah.
But it would be a way of storing energy because a piece of antimatter can annihilate with a piece of matter, produce a huge amount of energy in the form of photons. And so it could be maybe someday an interesting way to store energy when you've made the antimatter. But the technology of keeping it away from the matter is something that once you have made it, is something I don't know how you do it. It requires a much more advanced civilization than us. It's pretty far away from us. So for the present time, the antimatter is a useful thing to do experiments with, but not useful for technology, maybe someday.
Do you think it will ever be possible for a car to travel at the speed of light?
No. Nothing that is made from ordinary matter can ever travel at the speed of light according to the laws of physics, and I really believe this part of the laws of physics very well tested experimentally. The only thing that travels at the speed of light is something, and this is a technical phrase, that has zero rest mass. It's something that if you stop it, it ceases to exist. If you stop a photon, which is a particle of light that travels at the speed of light, you stop it, its energy gets deposited, say in a photographic plate, where it makes a mark on a photographic plate, but the photon is destroyed. So any particle that moves at the speed of light, when you stop it, it ceases to exist, but it gives its energy to something else. And so if you have something that is already stopped, in just the opposite way, you can't boost it up to the speed of light. Unfortunately, it would be interesting. Einstein, when he was trying to understand the laws of physics, he imagined traveling at the speed of light and what it would be like. And that was a key thought experiment for him. But he came to realize that it was impossible to truly do this, even though it was helpful question to ask in trying to understand how the laws of nature behave.
And he was brave enough to fight with others' opinions.
He was brave enough to fight with others' opinions, brave enough to stand up for his own ideas. He was occasionally wrong, but he was usually right. I think most everybody I know among physicists and also historians of science agrees that the two greatest minds in the history of science, or at least in the history of the physical sciences, were Einstein and Newton. And people debate over which one was better, but they were so many centuries apart. You really can't make a comparison. Yeah.
That's a little bit related with her last question. There's no way of reaching the speed of light, but there is any physical way to come back at the past moment in time?
So one thing we know is you cannot move backward against the flow of time. If I sit here, you and I share the fact that we move forward in time, and neither of us can move backwards. But it is possible, we don't know, but it is conceivable that if you can go out in space, always moving forward in your local time, you may feel the flow of time, you share with everything that's alongside you, that you're all moving forward in time. But you go out in space and you come back and arrive before you started. There's a beautiful, interesting drawing by an artist named Escher of a waterfall that goes down and down and down and down and comes back to where it starts. This is very similar. You're always going down, but you come back to where you started. And we can write down, using the mathematics of relativity, solutions of Einstein's equations that have this property, that you can go out in time, always going forward in time, you come back before you started. But for anything to really happen in the universe, it has to obey not just the relativity laws, but also the quantum physics laws. And when we look at whether or not this is allowed by the laws of quantum physics, it appears likely, but we don't know for sure, that the moment you create a time machine, which relativity allows, the time machine will self-destruct. It'll destroy itself the first moment when you turn it on. No matter how you create this time machine, it destroys itself, so you can't do time travel. We know a great explosion is created due to quantum effects, but we don't know whether the explosion is strong enough to truly destroy the time machine. Stephen Hawking and his students and I and my students both studied this in the 1990s, and we came to the same conclusion in the end, that the explosions that are created when you activate a time machine, how strong they are and whether they can destroy the time machine is controlled by these laws of physics that we don't yet understand, the so-called laws of quantum gravity. And so until we understand those laws, they control what happens inside a black hole, the so-called singularities inside black holes. They're the quantum data that Cooper tries to get outside from inside of Gargantua to pass on to his daughter to save the human race. They control the birth of the universe. And so we want to see gravitational waves from the birth of the universe in order to try to understand those laws. And they control whether you can go backward in time. And so we sit here, at least Stephen and I agreed, that we just have to wait until those laws are understood before we'll be able to answer the question, do time machines always self-destruct? Do they always destroy themselves?
Is it possible that in the future, when we will discover the laws of quantum gravity, we could send information or even matter like a car or something out of a black hole or a wormhole? Is it possible?
I don't think so, no. So the laws of quantum gravity become crucial in this explosion when a time machine is activated. They're crucial for the birth of the universe. They're crucial for the core of a black hole, the singularity, but they don't have any significant influence near the horizon of a black hole, which is the surface that you can't get out of. That we are almost 100% sure, almost I say, is controlled by the laws of general relativity without any major role of quantum mechanics. I say almost because there are some hints that there might be something wrong with what I'm saying that are tied up with what's called the information loss paradox. And so this is one area where I say with high probability, but not with complete confidence. Yeah.
We are pretty sure that we know what is in a black hole besides the singularity, right?
Well, so we know we don't understand the singularity because we don't understand the laws of quantum gravity. But other than that, we pretty much know what's inside black holes. Though I would like to have some good computer simulations of the inside of a black hole to be sure. And until we have, because if you have a black hole where that stuff is falling into, what happens to that stuff and what it does in terms of distorting space and time inside the black hole, we think we know, but we're not completely sure until we, and we really need computer simulations to figure that out. And the best people working on computer simulations, they had a higher priority to understand the production of gravitational waves for LIGO. Yeah. Now that LIGO is a success, some of them, I hope, will now start studying what happens inside black holes.
We people who work in science and technology, we're called brain engineers. So as one of the greatest brain engineers ever existed and winner of the Nobel Prize, what's the biggest reward a brain engineer can ever hope for?
I think, to me, the biggest reward of the process of doing science, and of the enterprise of doing science, is when I suddenly understand something the first time. It doesn't even have to be something that's new to me. It can be something that somebody else also understood earlier. Just the process of suddenly understanding is a form of euphoria, of excitement, that is just so strong that for me that's the biggest reward.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
A huge honor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. They were not too simple. They were not too simple.
A bit more personal question.
Yeah.
I want